What's going on, guys? It's Pendy, and I have a commentary to you today, and what we're going to be talking about, gun skill, and how you can improve your chances of winning those 50-50 or straight-up gunfights, and, 5 little things that you can focus on or try to think about to become a better player in those straight-up gunfights. So let's get into it. The first tip I have for you is work with your sensitivity. What that means is you don't want to have a sensitivity too low or too high, so that way either you can't turn fast enough to kill people, or your shot's all over the place and you can't keep it on. The first thing I'd say is make sure if you can't keep your red dot or sight on somebody as you're shooting at them most of the time, your sensitivity is probably too high. Try lowering it maybe 2 or 3 and see how you go from there. If it's still a little bit too much, try lowering it 1 or 2 more. If you lower it 2 or 3 and then you realize your shot's a lot more accurate, practice with that for a while, see how that fits you. And secondly, if you can't turn fast enough to shoot people, that's probably because you're playing on like a 1 or 2 sensitivity, and that's really disadvantageous because you can't turn fast enough to shoot people most of the time. So if they're even a little bit to the left of your screen, you're probably not going to be able to get them in time. So you want a happy medium of being able to turn as quickly as you need to keep up with most people that are running left or right. And you also want to be able to keep your shot on about 95% of the time. If you're straight up shooting at somebody, you're going to want to hit like 95% of those bullets, or most of the bullets. You don't want to miss much. And second, I would say, most obvious tip, you want to practice. You don't want to, just run around willy-nilly, hip firing people across the map. You want to, if you want to get better at gunfights, you have to practice getting shots on people. And you want to, like, as you're shooting at somebody, you want to try and focus and think consciously, I'm going to try to hit every bullet on this guy and not miss. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, we're going to talk about some mobility options. Strafing, drop shotting, and jump shotting. Strafing is when you walk left or right as you're shooting at somebody, and this is really useful because instead of trying to move the right analog stick left or right to shoot people that are moving, you can strafe into them, and sometimes that's better because you're moving, so you're harder to hit. Also, you can keep your shot on a little bit more accurately that way. I would definitely recommend strafing at least a little bit in most of your gunfights. Second is drop shotting. I think drop shotting is very useful for up close gunfights. You see me do it a lot. It's very useful because if people are running around hip level and they see you around a corner and it's kind of a surprise gunfight to both of you, if you drop to the floor like that, they're gonna have to adjust their aiming a lot, whereas you're on the floor shooting up at them. It's easy for you to adjust, also because you're the one drop shotting, so as you drop, aim up a little bit. That's very useful for up close gunfights. Long range, it doesn't really help, but if you play on tactical, which is the R3 button is crouch, very useful. And next is jump shotting. If you don't play claw or have one of those fancy controllers I talked about, it's going to be kind of hard, but you can still jump before you get around a corner and then put your thumb back on the analog stick and try it that way. It's not so bad. I do it that way, and it works out okay for me. Fourth, I would say this is definitely one of the things that'll hurt you most if you don't listen to this tip. You definitely want to pick loadouts that give you a chance. What I mean by that is, if it's a really small map like Free Fall or Strike Zone, you're not going to want to use an LMG. Or, ARs are fine on Strike Zone, I guess, but, they kind of you're at a disadvantage if you are up close against an SMG or a shotgun. So, and also on Prison Break, you're not going to want to use a shotgun or, one of the big maps because you're at a disadvantage. People are most likely going to be pretty far away and your shotgun won't reach. So you want to pick loadouts that give you a chance. Don't try sprinting around like an LMG. It doesn't matter if you have ready up or quick draw. You are at a huge disadvantage. You're probably going to get in a world of hurting if you try that. So small maps, SMGs and shotguns, sometimes ARs, sometimes. And big maps, LMGs, snipers, ARs, sometimes subs, depending on how you play that map and where you like to go on that map. But yeah, that's tip 4. And tip 5, have fun with it. If somebody's shooting you in the back, you don't always have to try to run away and hide and just try to live. Sometimes, if you're not that hurt, jump up in the air, whip around, try to really give it to them, try to turn on them. That's where the really cool plays that make you feel confident about yourself, like, wow, I just destroyed that kid. That's where they come from. So yeah, you're definitely going to want to do those things. I was just looking at me in the chopper here. So yeah, guys, those are my 5 tips for improving your gun skill. If you have any other tips that you'd like, that you know about that help you improve your gun skill, leave that in the comment. Leave a like on the video. We're going on the 9th straight day of posting a video. It's very exciting. I'm going to keep this going as long as I can. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I helped you with your gun skill. If it helped you at all, let me know in the comments. Anyway, guys, I'm out. See you. Peace.